would remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Hunt. I appreciate it. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear God, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for just gathering us in this place. We thank you for just the business at hand. We just pray for your wisdom for our city council. We just ask your blessing on this evening. We just ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. The clerk will take the roll call, please.
All right. Councilman Templin.
Present.
Councilman Cisco. Present. Councilman DiGiulio.
Here.
Councilman Gavarecki.
Present.
Councilman Rourke. Treasurer Armstrong. Mayor Pro Tem McLeod.
Present.
I would like to point out for the record, Mayor Mategas has asked to be excused for this meeting. We do have a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have the approval for tonight's agenda. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda for April 12th?
Support.
Cisco motion, Templin supports. Are there any corrections, changes, or deletions?
I'm going to have claims of accounts removed there tonight, Ms. Mayor.
Okay. Mr. DiGiulio would like to have claims and accounts separated from the consent agenda. Are there any other corrections, changes, or deletions? Right, hearing none, can I ask for a vote to approve the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes from March 15th. May I please have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion, Madam Mayor.
Mr. DiGiulio motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Rourke supports. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I will ask for a vote on the minutes for March 15. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Motion is carried. May I have a motion to accept the minutes of March 22?
Motion.
Ms. Gavarecki, motion.
Support.
Mr. Templin supports.
Cisco.
So.
I'm sorry. I looked right at you. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Okay, may I ask for a vote to approve? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Okay, next on the agenda, we have awards and presentations and proclamations. First up is APHS, the Allen Park Animal Welfare, Allen Park High School, to Deputy Fire Chief Ed Can, donation of masks for animals. If you could come forward, please.
Good evening. Mayor Pro Tem, Council, elected officials, Mr. Kibbe. I come to you tonight with good news. This fabulous group of young people has stepped up to the plate, and I wanted to take this opportunity to recognize them. The Allen Park Fire Department would like to thank Ms. Chandonnet, who is a dedicated science teacher at Allen Park High School. We'd also like to thank her group, APHS, which stands for the Allen Park Animal Welfare, and their dedication to the city and the animals. The APHS group took it upon themselves to find a cause and then to subsequently raise money for that cause. They chose to purchase animal oxygen masks that can be used on dogs and cats that are rescued from house fires. Our fire department tends to have more animal victims than humans because dogs and cats stay in the house when people leave for work or school. These masks help deliver oxygen to, I can grab one, the animals, because they're shaped a little bit differently than a regular oxygen mask, and of course dogs and cats' faces are shaped differently than ours. Thank God, right? And so it's more efficient, and it'll help save some lives. They went ahead and got 5 of these packages, which come in varying sizes for varying sized dogs and cats, and so there'll be one for each apparatus that would respond to a fire. So isn't that cute? It's refreshing to me to see the kindness and generosity that these youngsters have. They're polishing their leadership skills, and they're stepping up to the plate, and they're putting others before themselves. And I think that's what life is all about. So won't you join me, please, in giving them a round of applause. And if I could take a moment to ask them to come forward and just give us their name, and that way they can be recognized in front of the council.
Marissa Jornot. Madeline Watson.
Don't be shy.
Caitlin Good.
Excellent.
Madeline Cope. Stephanie Schwank.
Excellent. And
Deborah Chandonnet, science teacher.
fine leader. Okay.
Next, we have Elizabeth Evans for the Allen Park Relay for Life, also Allen Park High School, which is for May 14th. Is Elizabeth here? Oh,
Hello, I'm Liz Evans. I'm the American Cancer Society staff partner for the Allen Park community. I've been working in this community for 3 years now, and we wanted to come and personally invite the community to join us this year. Our event is moving back to a community park. It's going to be at the Gahona and Philomene Crossroads. I believe it's just called the community park. There really is not an address, but it's right off of E-Course. It's going to be on May 14th, and last year we had about 18 teams at our event that signed up. This year we have over 40 teams, including several of the schools, the Interact Club, the NHS is a great team. We have a Girls on the Run team, and a lot of local vendors. We are hosting our first annual Allen Park Best Pizza Contest, and right now we have 9 different restaurants that are competing in this. It's going to be a really fun day full of activities, and we just want to invite any of the local clubs, any vendors or businesses that would like to come and put a booth out. We'll have live music all day. Also, the whole point of the event is to honor local cancer survivors. So anyone that's a survivor is welcome to come and invited to join us for a survivor luncheon, which is donated by Liberati's Italian Deli and Bakery, and that'll be at, 10 a.m. on Saturday, May 14th. The event will be all day from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. with a lot of activities and family-friendly things going on. There's a community-wide garage sale. There's bounce houses for kids, face painting. It's very family-friendly. So any kids, we're inviting them to come, and any families in the area, and we hope to see the community there.
thank you.
Thank you.
And last, we have Dan Hampton from the Senior Alliance.
Good evening. Mayor Pro Tem and City Council members, thank you for allowing me to speak with you this evening regarding the Senior Alliance. My name again is Dan Hampton, and I'm the Waiver Manager for the Senior Alliance. Our agency was founded in 1980 by Edward McNamara and 34 communities of Western and Southern Wayne County in accordance with the Older Americans Act as one of 16 designated area agencies on aging in Michigan. Because our agency was funded by state and federal dollars, we are required to report to our fiduciary bodies. Since we were formed by the communities, we consider you one of those bodies. Our agency's mission is we empower people with needs to live with dignity in the community they choose by providing available services. Although we are best known for the Meals on Wheels program, our agency also provides many other services for residents in your community. These include the Medicaid Waiver Program, which helps low-income seniors and adults with disabilities receive the services they need in order to stay in their homes versus a nursing home. The Nursing Facility Transition Program assists qualified individuals in transitioning out of those settings, nursing home, and back in the community. The MAP program provides assistance to individuals with navigating the complex Medicare enrollment process. Our counselors help clients save over $6 million on Medicare premiums last year. Our Information and Assistance Department connects individuals to the appropriate available resources as part of our ADRC work. TSA has established a non-emergency transportation program using 5 vehicles which provide rides of last resort. The Care Transitions Program is funded by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to help Medicare beneficiaries avoid hospital readmissions. In the last fiscal year, we have worked with close to 12,000 people. We also offer caregiver support, diabetes education, and fall prevention classes. As you see in the informational packets, over $514,000 worth of services have been utilized by the residents of the City of Allen Park during the last fiscal year. The detailed summary sheet provides a breakdown of which services were provided. While we operate a budget of more than $20 million, we are proud to report that only 6% of that is used for administration and that 94% of our budget dollars are going directly into the communities we serve. Our audits are unqualified and have no findings, recommendations, or management letters for at least the last 10 years. We ask that each municipality provide a match amount to support our work with older adults in your community. Your match amount for fiscal year 2016 is $2,350. This amount helps TSA deliver the over $514,000 in services spent in fiscal year 2015 in the City of Allen Park. We thank you and appreciate your support. The Senior Alliance continuously works on outreach to inform the communities of the services we offer. If the City of Allen Park has any events that you would like us to attend, please feel free to contact us. If you'd like further information on our agency and the programs we provide, I'll be happy to answer any questions, or we can be contacted either by calling 1-800-815-1112 or emailing info@tsalink.org. You can also visit our website by going to www.aaa1c.org or follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good evening. And I also want to point out something regarding our Meals on Wheels program. I'm not sure if you guys are aware. The federal and state governments provide funding to TSA for nutrition programs. TSA conducts an RFP process to select vendors to assess program applicants and participants, prepare meals, and administer the program. Wayne County has been the vendor for TSA-funded nutrition programs for over 35 years. Historically, Wayne County has provided a financial subsidy from its general fund to ensure the Meals on Wheels program did not have a wait list. As a result of the financial crisis Wayne County is currently confronting, our county discontinued that subsidy. To prevent an immediate disruption to services during the fiscal year 2016, the Senior Alliance is adding $670,000 in one-time emergency funding to the Meals on Wheels program. Wayne County retains responsibility for all the day-to-day operations and management through the end of the contract on September 30th, 2016. Future funding of the program requires the implementation of an attrition process to reduce the number of people receiving home-delivered meals beginning the spring of 2016. The attrition process will reduce the number of participants to a level that fiscal year 2017 funding levels can afford, or support, It is possible that a wait list for the Meals on Wheels program will begin to form later this year. This spring, TSA will be conducting an RFP process to select a vendor for the nutrition programs for fiscal years 2017 through 2019. Again, thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
If I may, through the chair, the amount of match required, the $2,350, is paid for via the Community Development Block Grant Program. So that has already been paid for this year and has already been funded for the next year as well through that program.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have organizational business. I get to turn this over to Mr. Kibbe.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, public. I've got some good news to start with. The Comcast Public Education Channel is working once again. There may be some minor interruptions as they continue to work on associated issues, but it is up and running as of this afternoon. It's taken a long time. I do apologize, but we are back up, and we're very, very close to getting the rest of the Comcast items switched over and finally be able to shut down the old City Hall building once and for all. The city's grant award of the $270,000 through the Distressed Cities Grant has been amended for the replacement of the HVA system at the fire station. Pat asked to notify the public that there are still seats available for the seniors trip and tour of the Fox Theater on April 20th. I had to go back and make sure I read that correctly. That is a tour of the facility, which is probably going to be a great behind-the-scenes opportunity if seniors are able to get down there. Call the Parks and Recreation Department for reservation information, and that's the 313-928-0771 number, 313-928-0771. Also from the Parks and Recreation, the Recreator has been printed and will be delivered here to the homes very shortly. The playground equipment bids, which is part of the Wayne County grant that we received for playground equipment and aspects to improve the parks, those bids will be opened April 20th, and an award recommendation will be made at the April 26th council meeting. The police department received 16 applications. 11 candidates have been scheduled for oral interviews starting April 21st. We're keeping our fingers crossed that we've got some good candidates in there. The market is very tough as everywhere I look and talk to different communities, everybody's hiring at this point in time. But we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we have some good candidates there and we'll be able to get some new members of the Allen Park Police Department. The fire department and building department have been working together on the BP gas station at Southfield and Roosevelt, which is currently closed because of a hydrocarbon fumes. Once that problem is resolved, they'll be able to open back up, but at this point in time, they are still closed until released from the fire department. The DDA car show is scheduled for June 22nd. A permit to close down Allen Road from Roosevelt to Southfield will need to be approved at the May 10th council meeting. It's possible we may have that for the April 26th, but DDA is aware that May 10th is the latest date we should have that for approval. For DPS information, street sweeping started last Monday. Compost pickup also started last Monday. The inspectors have started marking for the utility work restorations. This was any utility work, water main breaks or sewer issues that needed to be repaired during the wintertime. The contractor is now going to be out there to replace that. That was approved by RTAB, so they'll be ready to go, but the inspectors are out marking those right now. And then also the voter-approved millage road construction work also started last week. We've taken down a few trees. I shouldn't say a few. It's a number of trees on Garfield. That's where we're going to start at. And I think after Garfield, we go to Shenandoah, then to Niver, and then to Kolb over off of Van Born. Also, we got some news here. The state, and I did send this information out to the mayor and council, the state has amended order number 29, which allows the 80-20 split or hard cap option for the healthcare premium sharing. Order 55A was also amended. That allows us to select a marketing firm to sell a portion of our old City Hall property. Order 52 was also amended, and that was the appointment of Bob Katie to the pension board. The RTAB also approved the recommendation to award the solid waste contract to Advanced Disposal. The 96-gallon trash carts will be going to the residents. Those will be black. They're set to be delivered starting after May 1st. Understand, please, that there's 11,000 containers that have to get out across the city. It's not going to happen in one day. It's going to be phased over a couple, I'm going to guess a couple weeks, but we'll get some more detail from Advanced as we get closer to that date. The recycling carts are going to be the 64-gallon carts. Those will be green, and they're going to be given to those that are people that are currently recycling. So if they see your tub out, they're going to take note of that and make sure you get the cart, as obviously you are a regular recycler. And that is that cart is about three times the size of the current bins as well. Collection days are set to remain as they currently are, and all trash and recycling material must be in the carts provided. I think we're going to address that a little bit later on with the ordinance and coming up here at the end of the agenda. There's going to be an on-site training on May 19th, starting at 6 o'clock for the Planning Commission. This will also include Zoning Board of Appeals members, and it is open to the City Council to come in and listen, as well as to the process that the Planning Commission takes for their work that they do for the city. The Municipal Complex Committee will be meeting on Thursday afternoon with 5 architecture firms to discuss the proposed Police Department City Hall complex. And the committee has recommended the site to be located on the middle portion of our property right next door. Basically, right outside our windows here is where the proposed site would be. And they did look at a number of other areas within the community, but every time it seemed that they kept coming back to the same location. And finally, a work session has been scheduled for next week, April 19th, to discuss the proposed 2016-17 budget. A draft of that budget has been provided for the mayor and council this evening, and we'll be open for any questions on that prior to the meeting if you want. But if not, we'll be ready to answer questions at the meeting on the 19th. And that is everything I have.
Just a quick question on the recycling. That is going to be weekly?
At this point in time, we believe it's going to be bi-weekly. We're going to still be working with the contractor to see where they're going to be at.
So stay with the current schedule?
Current schedule as it is. So trash pickup, if you're a Monday, it's going to remain on Monday. If your recycling is the first week and the third week, then make sure you have everything out as it is. If they don't have all the carts out, which again, 11,000 carts going out at one time is going to be a rather large task, as they still have to get them ordered and delivered in from North Carolina. And I think right now we just approved the printing on the side. It's going to say City of Allen Park, as it does on our city website, script City of, and then Allen Park. They've got to be brought in from North Carolina, assembled, and then distributed. So I presume that the first couple weeks, you're going to see advanced disposal still picking up the trash the same way that they currently are, which is a manual load.
Does anyone have any questions? Tina?
Our current recycle tubs that we currently have, they're ours, do we return them?
Those are ours. The residents can recycle them if they want, but I think that they're going to probably end up being storage containers inside their sheds and garages.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. DiGiulio?
We don't put our recycles out every 2 weeks, though, because sometimes we don't fill up our barrels, so what's going to happen then?
And you're fine on that, is just follow the regular cycle, and when you're ready to go on that normal cycle pattern, you'll put yours out if it's on the every 2 week basis. But at 64 gallons, you're going to have about 3 times as much capacity as you currently have.
Right, but maybe I won't get the barrel, that's what I'm saying. If I don't have it out and they come by.
They're going to keep a check on it for a period of time. They want to make sure they get everybody. We don't want to miss anybody.
Thank you.
They'll get you sooner or later.
Oh, good, thank you.
Does anyone else have questions? Well, if there are none, then I would like a motion to accept Mr. Kibbe's report.
Motion, Madam Mayor.
Mr. DiGiulio, seconded by Mr. Rourke. I have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to get to the favorite part of our meetings. Public comment. As everybody knows who's been attending or watching or paying attention, public comments are limited to 4 minutes. We have rules of decorum for public meetings. They are posted in the council chambers. I see somebody who's anxious. A couple of key points, if you would. When coming to the podium, please give your name and street on which you live. It's not necessary to give the exact address. Again, remember the time allotted to speak is 4 minutes. Most important, however, is that we ask that your comments and communications be courteous and that you refrain from making derogatory or personal comments regarding any citizen or member of the council. In other words, follow the golden rule.
Ray McGusson, citizen of Allen Park. I want to thank you very much, Madam Mayor. That's all we need to be told. You don't have to go any further. So with that, I'm going to say something. I'm here for, since a lot of you guys like data, I'm here with a demonstration. This container right here is 32 gallons. This is all I use. I've been using this for, I bet you, every bit of 15 to 20 years. This green container, which we're given by the city a number of years, is 15 gallons. This is all I use for 2 weeks. It is hardly ever filled. This little bag is what about 7 of my neighbors put out every single week. Just a little bag like this. This is a kitchen bag. This is filled about 3/4 of the way. This is all I throw. And it goes right into this little container right there. That's all I use. I can get that past my vehicle on my drive. I can put that in the snow with no problem. I can pick it up one-handed and bring it back around my truck, which is hard, and put it away. This green container, I pick up 2 hands, no problem whatsoever. So this is what's going to happen right now. I am being told right now that the only container I can use is a 96-gallon container to throw my garbage in. 96 gallons. That's twice as large as that one right there. So it's really 3 times as large. I'm being told that I have to use a 64-gallon container to put my recycle in. That might be picked up every single week. That's all I use. Granted, there's some neighbors out here that use more. There's some neighbors here might use less. But we were told, and I was at that workshop meeting, that Rizzo and the other companies said we can get 64-gallon trash containers if we wanted to. And if we had to, they will allow us to upgrade. Now we're going to be mandated by the city to use a 96-gallon container. That's wider than that. Not tall, but wider. We're going to, and you are at this meeting, we're going to have a reading about redoing our city ordinance now. That we will not be able to put these containers on the snowbank. That's what it states. We won't be able to put it into the street, and if we do, we're going to get fined. Quit doing this to the citizens. Some of you like those big containers. I do not need them, and my neighbors, some of my neighbors definitely do not need them. Those are wider containers. The city council had a workshop meeting. They never even saw the containers that you're going to authorize. You don't know how wide they are. You never saw them. Because I haven't missed a meeting. So I want you to reconsider what's going to happen. Mr. Kibbe made a statement that they might be picked up by a machine. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I'll still be able to use those containers to put my grass in. So I'd like you guys to please be very careful when you do anything. And to go back to what Mr. Cisco said, Councilman Cisco said a couple of meetings ago, is we have a human resource committee. Please use it. If you're going to go ahead and change anything dealing with health care or anything, it should have been gone through the human resource. Please, City Council, look what's happening. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
If I may, through the chair, we're working with Advanced Disposal. They're going to, they've asked to be able to implement a 90-day rule, which everybody will gather the container for 90 days, and those that are in need of a smaller container, they're going to work with them to get a smaller container. What they've traditionally found, and this is every place I've been as well, I know Mr. Katie as well in his communities that he's been with, Typically, the outcry is that the 96-gallon container is just too big, and after a short period of time, people realize that it is a appropriate size as they're trying to clean out their sheds, clean out their garage, because it's a one-time, it's one spot to go out to the garbage. So they've asked that the residents work with them over that period of time to only realize that they're going to end up at the 96-gallon container, so.
I know
But
my
if they need
time's
it, they
up.
will be able to get a 64.
I understand my time's up, but the ordinance you're going to pass says it's mandated that we use a 96-gallon container.
Right.
And if we do not, we're going to get fined.
Dawson, please.
I understand, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nancy Simmons, and I live on Keppen in Allen Park. Mr. McGusson, please don't get upset with me. There's only 2 of us that live at our house, and we never have enough room for our recycle. I end up putting it in the garbage, or we collect it at the house and then wait till 2 weeks, and then we have even more. So we are big-time recyclers, and so I'm happy about the size of the recycle, and even the possibility of every week makes me very happy. Also, obviously, the larger garbage can, we're going to work with it because we don't have as much garbage, but I know that one of the residents in Allen Park contacted me because she was very concerned. She has a large family, and she said she doesn't think that the 96-gallon container is going to be large enough. And so she asked me what she's supposed to do. And how much is, if they have to buy their own, another one, how much is it?
Through the chair, at this point in time, I don't know an exact number. We're going to get somewhere between probably $65 and $85 for an additional container.
Okay. And all this instructional information about this ordinance is, how are the citizens going to get this information? Because especially about the snow, when snow is here, I was reading that, and it was quite a bit of information to know so that you don't get fined. There's a lot of, like, you got to dig out a place for your can on that day if there's a lot of snow and things like that. So I'm hoping that you're doing something to make sure that everybody knows. And also, what about the houses that are empty right now? They're not going to have a garbage can, right? Or what?
Yeah, we'll have some on hand when those people do get those houses occupied. And then for the rules, it'll either be through a mailer, or I definitely know that they've attached them in the past to the containers themselves. When you get the container delivered, there's an instruction packet with that'll outline the rules. But it'll either be in that form or a mailer.
And it's going to include, like, what acceptable containers can be used if there's an overflow and that kind of stuff?
If there's an overflow, you have to use the container you have. So at this point in time, you're going to need to either order a second container or become very good friends with your neighbors, more so than you already are.
Okay, because I've done that where I've used somebody else's, but, okay, it just says other approved containers, but it doesn't say what. So,
just strictly the 96-gallon container.
Okay. And I think that's all, except that I am really glad that you're doing this, and I appreciate the study that you've done and come up with this. And I will do my best and encourage my neighbors. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dennis Hayes, Manor Avenue. I've committed to continue to remark on the rules of decorum, and I was happy. I almost was shocked that we might dispense with them tonight, and I appreciate Gail McLeod, Mayor Pro Tem McLeod, Acting Mayor McLeod, abbreviating them. But even that is superfluous to the fact that in Robert's Rules of Order, it says that the chair can always rule somebody out of order. And actually, our rules of decorum make it more difficult to do that because it tries to list all these possibilities instead of just investing the chair with the authority to say, I find that offensive, and then the council can call for a vote and decide whether it was offensive or indecorous or whatever you think it was. But the fact of the matter is, you can see how silly this is, because just this week, in our friends across the pond in Great Britain, there was a member of the Commons, Dennis Swinton, I think was his name. He called the Prime Minister Dodgy Dave, okay? And they ruled him out of order, and they told him to leave the chambers. Now, that's the logical extreme of course, we threw off the yoke of Britain in the 18th century, thank God, because, you know, that's the kind of rules they have. They don't have a First Amendment there. They have freedom of speech in a fashion, but not like we do here. Now, if I were to say to you tonight, if Bill were here, I said, bumbling Bill, I don't think Bill Matakis would have said, you're out of here, get out, march him out, you know, because I said something like that. It may be indecorous, but there are degrees. We've already been sued twice in this last year, and we lost a lot of money through our co-pay for the insurance deductible. Our insurance rates will probably go up in time if we keep doing these silly things, and we've got to stop. And no reading of a bunch of silly rules that make no sense that were written by a council, as I've illustrated several times here, that was just overly sensitive. I hope our current council is not overly sensitive. I think they can figure out what's proper and what's not proper. So I'm asking the council members to call upon the chairman, Mr. Matakis, at your first opportunity to do what Gail did tonight, or less even. Tell the person coming to the podium, we have rules, stick them on the podium. If you're not familiar with it, take a minute to read it, because we're not going to read it, because it's a waste of time. Okay, and I think, Gail, you probably agree with me. You don't want to offend the mayor, certainly, but that's the way it is. And if there's any doubt, look at Article 8, Rule 73 in Robert's Rules of Order, and you'll see that the chair has that authority already without doing it. Second thing I'd like to ask, I wonder through the chair, I noticed, I was looking at the Wayne County election filing material, and I noticed that our friend Mr. Cisco is got a $500 outstanding fine with the county for failing to file his election materials. Now, I noticed everybody else seemed to have filed theirs without incident, and I just wonder if that's a good representation for our city to have one of our members in debt to the county for failing to file legally required reports. And as of today, it's still not been filed to the best of my understanding and from my checking with the county. So I hope that Mr. Cisco, I know he's interested in impressing students, speaks to them often, and I hope he lets them know that he's on top of this and he'll get it taken care of. Thank you.
Are there any other citizens who would like to come forward?
Hi, Marcy DiGiulio, and I live on Allen Road. Through the chair, Mr. Kibbe, what was that 80/20? Was the copay for the health insurance, they're not paying their 20% anymore?
If I may, through the chair, yeah, the proposal is to reduce the copay premium health care sharing from the 80/20 to the hard cap.
What's hard cap?
The hard cap is the amount that the legislature put into place under PA 152 of 2011, and it sets an amount for the single, what the maximum a government entity can pay for a single two-person in a family. So there's a max on that, and then there's it does have an increase on a multiplier.
So we've just had all these millages because we were going to have to lay off police. The rest of the world has to pay a portion of their medical insurance, but now that the citizens passed it, because they were so frightened of being scared of being harmed and not having a police force, now we have enough money, we're just giving it back.
Let me correct you, because you're incorrect on your information there.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yep, that's fine. The members will still pay a portion of their premium health care share. For a single, though, it does go. Our current costs are less than the hard cap that the state had outlined. So they will. A single person would pay zero. A two-person family, two-person would pay, I think it's $51 per pay, and a family would be around $40 per pay.
You're
So
kidding.
they are still paying. Yeah. It's a
Wow.
reduction from what they were
Okay.
at. But we've also talked to some of the candidates that we are not being able to hire.
Wait, you're taking up my time. You answered my question. I have a question. What is going on with that police investigation? We're having a problem of sexual harassment charges. You know, I brought this up 2 or 3 meetings ago, and no one wanted to hear it. I don't care, you know, what's going on one side or the other. That's what you need to figure out. I don't like the cover-up. And that is what we have been all about here in Allen Park, is the cover-up of these things. Now, are we going to stop the cover-up or not, Mayor? Gail McLeod?
I
Okay,
don't have to answer that.
all right, but you're part of the problem then, okay? Here's another part of the problem. Last meeting, we gave an award to one of the officers for promoting harmony on Facebook. I don't want to say the C word, we all know what it rhymes with, bunt, okay? Where's our city clerk? I have copies of it if you'd like to see. On Facebook. And, you know, I won't use his name, but it was can't understand normal thinking. I'm going to give you guys all this. We need to start, you can't act this way in business. Why do we allow it in our city? That's what I want to know. Do you have anything to say, Gail?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I hope you do, because we don't need another lawsuit. We really don't in this city. I'll give these to the clerk, though, so you can all see, or would you like me to bring them up?
Give them to the clerk.
Okay.
Charles Blevin, Champaign. First off, good job to the APOL group. It's fantastic. Good positive things in Allen Park going on. Especially, and same with, I'm glad Relay for Life is going on, as well as, again, in the Senior Alliance. They do a great job with the Meals on Wheels as well. Fantastic. With the streets that they're going to be working on, I was trying to quickly type what streets. You said Garfield, Shandora, Niver, and was there another one?
Yeah, Kolb.
Kolb, okay. I have neighbors that keep asking me like what, all the different streets. Okay, thank you. Next, I'm so glad with the, especially for the recycle bins, going to be a lot bigger, because my family, especially my brother, he likes to recycle, so it's a good thing. That's going to be 3 times larger. For when you say they're going to deliver these garbage cans, is it going to just like be on the curb, and then it's like, here you go, and then give us a pack inside, or is it going to be on, like by like our front door? And then is there going to be like numbered for these garbage cans like Lincoln Park has?
Yeah, each unit has a serial code number to it, and then when they place the can down, that is likely to be the preferred location that they would ask that the residents put the container back at for pickup.
Okay, what, I think it's, I don't know if you even know, but like, because what if I was like at work or something like that, would they like knock on the door or something, like UPS or something?
No, they're just going to drop them at the location and move on. They've got 11,000
yeah,
that deliver.
I understand.
And the note will be inside, and that's traditionally how it's been in other communities.
Okay, that's good to know. And then lastly, I'm glad to see different events as well on like the Cabrini Fair and stuff like that. That's still going on in Good Allen Park, and just keep thinking positive. Thank you.
My name is Mark Henderson, and I am not a Allen Park resident. I'm here, my property backs up to the Southfield corridor. And I'm really concerned about the high-powered bikes, motorcycles, that are running up and down in the Allen Park area on Southfield, and they're hitting speeds like twice as what traffic is flowing. And you can hear them. They have a real obscure name for them, crotch rockets, and they go really fast, and I don't think there's any police car that would ever be able to catch them. And but my property backs up to the service drive, and I see them go by at hair-raising speeds. Just a blip between the houses, and the traffic is obviously can be seen easily. And I've contacted the state police. They don't seem to be really interested, and I know the Allen Park does monitor the traffic there. I see them at different times, and I'm just looking for something that we can do. I don't know if we can put sensors out there to find out when they're doing this, but they do this all day long and up until even after midnight. I'm in bed at that point, but I'm sure they go on after midnight.
Could I ask what city you are a resident of?
Dearborn.
And I'm assuming that you've contacted the Dearborn Police Department?
No, I haven't, because it's an Allen Park. The Allen Park Police monitor the south portion of the Southfield Expressway from Rotunda all the way into your own city, on both sides, north and southbound. And that's where I live at Oakwood and Southfield. So I'm right there. I'm right next to Allen Park right there, and I see these high-powered bikes up and down there. And I'm just looking for another, someone else who might be interested in what's going on.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
My name is Robert Turner. I live on Morris Avenue. I want to talk about the hard cap versus 80/20. Mark and I exchanged some emails. I appreciate that, Mark. I'm on the Millnap School Board, and last night we voted on the hard cap versus 80/20. I voted no for hard cap. My reasoning was you want to treat your employees right. You want to be fair. But on the school board, when I came elected, my oath was to be there for that student. So in my opinion, we took money from a student last night and give it to the teachers. Okay, when I was running for council, I gave myself an oath. If elected, I will be here for the citizens. So you don't have to, I understand fully the hard cap. But in your actions, you have to be considerate of the citizens. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, Matt Doring, Meyer Street. I sit at these meetings, and it really hurts me to hear how people, just all the negative stuff about Allen Park is brought up. I've been here 20 years in this city, and I've seen it where it was when I moved here, things were booming. Then we went through the hard time with the theater stuff and all this stuff. I mean, if you look around the city, things are getting better. Smarter decisions are being made. We're passing millages. We're getting the roads fixed that we need to get fixed. And there's a lot of happy people out there, because I talk to a lot of them every day. The garbage can thing, people are complaining, they're too big, they're too small. You have to look at the positives of it. Riverview, Taylor, all these cities have these trash cans. Their rodent problem is way down compared to a lot of calls we get in Allen Park through the years about our rodent problem being so high. These trash cans are a positive thing. It keeps the trash off the ground. It keeps the trash from blowing around the streets. It looks so much neater going down the roads. They're not going to blow in the street like the other cans do, as easy as they do with the high winds. There's a lot of positive things happening. I mean, that's where we got to keep the focus on. I mean, like I said, I've lived here 20 years. I'm a taxpayer, and like I said, I've been here for the good times and the bad times of the city. But I'm going to tell you right now, we got a great city. There's no bottom line about it. I think we got a great council in here. I think decisions are being made, the right decisions are being made. The citizens are making the right decisions by passing the millages and the stuff that are helping this city to become like it used to be. They used to call it the jewel of the downriver. We're going to get right back to that. We're back on the rebound. This city is moving forward, and that's where we need to keep our eyes focused. Thank you.
Walter Danik, Bel Air Avenue. 2 weeks ago, I talked to Mr. Kibbe and Mr. Cady, and do we pay for recycling?
Through the chair, if I may, it is a part of the bid process, and it was included in the bid.
So we pay to recycle. Okay. I swear, like 4 years ago, I heard we get paid for recycling. We get money back for the recycling. Now, 2 weeks ago, I heard the opposite.
No, we don't get any reimbursement back for recycling. The benefit
We pay.
Yeah, the benefit you do have is that you have less trash tonnage going into the landfill at Riverview, which would reduce the bill from Riverview at that point.
Any further news on the old City Hall building?
We're trying to get meetings together with some marketing firms to be able to move forth on that. We were waiting for the state to give us the change of the amended order, which they did finally. So we'll be able to move forth at that point in time.
So the state changed it, now we can sell it?
Yeah, well, they allowed us to do an RFP or let me go back. They allowed us to select a firm to be able to market it, as opposed to the city being the marketing entity.
Okay. The garbage cans, any idea when we're going to receive those? I got here late.
Yeah, no problem. Sometime after May 1st. The contract switches over May 1st. There's 11,000 units that have to be delivered to the residents, and they're probably going to end up going through in a phase, getting out districts so they're picking up an entire district. If you look at the city on the one of the maps that we have for the recycling map from that was used to be from Republic, I think we had some out on the counter before. The city is separated into 5 areas, and they'll work and concentrate on one area at a time to make sure that that area can be picked up auto pickup.
Okay. So come May 1st, a new company takes over. If I don't have the can, do I hold the garbage till I get the can, or
No,
just put it out as
put your
usual?
trash out as normal.
Okay. Is there, the garbage thing's a done deal, right?
Yeah, the RTAB approved that on the April 6th meeting, so that was all done to move forth.
Okay. And these need to be stored in the back? Yes, no,
I
maybe?
don't recall how we wrote that in the ordinance. on that.
So I'm looking at her.
One other thing while he's looking that up. Compost, it's still the same?
Yeah, compost is the one item that does remain the same, so just normally put that out as you normally do, whether it be in a can or in the craft bags. That is still going to be a manual load operation.
Okay.
Yeah, the ordinance talks about where it's gonna be in the street, what have you, and,
But I-
just hope people are, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm not finding where it says where it's supposed to be stored at when it's not in use.
And not only that, we have other ordinances in the city, so, which we have not revised, having to do with storage of various items, so it may be addressed in another ordinance, but as to here, this is more so how it's gonna be, placed by the roadside.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, right here.
Is there anyone else who would like to come up?
My name's Conan Brooks, and this is Chris Kadlubowski. And we are not from the city of Allen Park. We are here to make a proposal to the city of Allen Park. If we're here to make a proposal to the city of Allen Park, if that's okay. Mayor, council. We are from Advanced Approach Productions. We are a railroad filming production company. And on December 2nd of 2015, the Canadian Pacific Holiday Train passed through the city of Allen Park, behind the Allen Park Thunder Bowl. And we partnered with Fish and Loaves Food Pantry. And we were just blown away by the turnout to come see the holiday train and to commemorate the meaning of the holiday train, of hosting the food drive. 1,000 we got in the count that come to this event to donate food and cash. Donation to Fish and Loaves. So the proposal we're making this year is we would like to, when the holiday train comes through, to host another event, but this time with entertainment for those that attend the event. Music from local bands, and we'd like to get some assistance and city support for the event, to host the event with staging equipment for an outdoor concert and some sort of heating for that stage to so that band members can be comfortable in playing in why it's cold. I know this is a lot to ask, but we can make a difference for we can make a difference in the impact it made. That actually this past week I saw in USA Today a picture of the holiday train behind the Allen Park Thunder Bowl. So it is gaining attention from media nationally and internationally, and locally as well. If you would like to, any questions for me?
Yes. Do you have something that's written that you can leave with us that we perhaps could get back to you?
I got the letter that I've written out that I'm actually was technically going off of. I don't have a business card on hand or anything, but I can give you information following the meeting and to contact us, yes.
Okay.
And we
If you would do that when the clerk comes back, if you would.
Perhaps give it to Bob Keating in the back.
Okay.
If you
If
see
you would
Mr. Katie in the
see
back.
Bob Katie in the back and
Okay.
give the contact information to him.
Okay. I think he has something. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, as he had said, name's Christopher Kadlubowski, by the way. I'm a Wyandotte resident. This was a big event. This was by far, it exceeded expectations. I had a head count of probably about 1,500 people in attendance. We had hauled in 389 pounds of food, $50 in cash donations, the smiles on children's faces, parents, families, you name it. It was unbelievable. And with that being said, you know, we want to do something better. We want to make it bigger, better, draw attention to Allen Park, we had people from, western part of the county even coming over here. And it was all over Facebook, News Herald, you name it, it was there. And the other purpose behind the reason why we organized this, now I ain't trying to make anybody feel sorry for me or anything like this when I say this. The main reason why I did this also was not only to help everyone else, but to cope with the loss that I had to deal with last June when my mother passed away of a massive heart attack. Very hard thing to deal with, and I figured this would be some therapy for me and to help the community. I do Skywarn, I do storm chasing, I do train watching, I work for the city of Wyandotte. I got a lot of things under my belt. And I do emergency communications through amateur radio, so we got the Heinz 57 here.
Well, thank you very much, and again, if you would leave your contact information.
Certainly.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward and speak at this time? Okay, if not,
Just real quick, through the chair, I just want to address your question with respect to the storage. Pursuant to city ordinance, it's 38-24. It says, "All containers for residential solid waste, yard waste, and recyclables shall be stored on the premises in a location that is reasonably inconspicuous from streets and places occupied by people." So that was already in place. The idea is you try to hide it, and that is not being changed by this ordinance tonight. Thank you, Mike.
okay, next order of business is the consent agenda. But we've exempted the first item under purchasing actions, claims and accounts. Can I have a motion to approve claims and accounts?
Motion to approve there, Madam Mayor.
Mr. DiGiulio, motion. Do I have a second?
Support.
Mr. Rourke supports. Are there any discussions, questions?
I have one here under administration, and it gets back to what Mr. Hayes was talking about, the lawsuits in the city here. And it's for a $15,000 deductible for the Michigan Municipal League for a K initial, Breyer. What is that about?
If I may, through the chair, that is an employment lawsuit that the former employee has filed against the city of Allen Park. The basic claim was unlawful discharge.
Was he discharged, or?
In our opinion, he voluntarily quit, and he disagrees with that.
Okay. And here, under the police department, I see they have prisoner boarding and prisoner housing. Is there a difference in that?
From looking at the, that's the 305-761, I'm seeing City of Dearborn and then Wayne County. And they're both basically the same. It's just a matter of where they're being sent to. The terminology, I believe, City of Dearborn uses on their invoices is just prisoner boarding, where Wayne County uses the term prisoner housing, but basically the same. The Wayne County will actually be is meant to be for longer term stays in custody within the parameters of their sentence.
Thank you, there, Mr. Kibbe.
Are there any further questions related to claims and accounts? Okay. Well, if there are no further questions, I would like to ask for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed, please say no. That motion is carried. I guess we can move to the rest of the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Support. That would be Mr. Templin
Yes.
and Ms. Gavaraki. Thank you. Is there any questions or discussion on these items? Hearing none, then I will ask for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion is carried. We are now in the resolutions portion. Outdoor storage permit, Great Lakes Ace Hardware, seasonal sale of dirt and flowers in the parking area. Is there any, ask for a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Templin?
Support.
Motion. Ms. Scavarecki, seconds. Is there any questions or discussion?
This question is coming from Aco.
Yes.
And if Dave can
Great
help
Lakes
as
Ace.
well.
Yeah, correct.
Not it.
Oh, Ace.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Gotta get the brandy now.
It's not on, I know. Apologize. Okay, the question I have is, and can be for Dave or the original part talks about a 20 by 20 tent. So when I went over there taking a look at it, because you always have the dirt and things out there already, is that what's going to be covered? Or are you adding an additional 20 by 20 space?
We need the 20 by 20 space for the actual tent. After that, we're also going to need space for the dirt. And the dirt would go right in front of the actual tent.
Okay, so the dirt and things go in front of the store on the sidewalk, right? Or were you talking?
Well, we've done that for years. We're trying to make it even better. We thought it would be better by putting it in a tent, because we're the largest flower store in our company. We own 48 stores. So we do very well here in Allen Park, so we just wanted to make it better.
So I guess the question is then, they're in the parking lot right now. You have dirt and pallets.
Yes, we also have dirt on the sidewalks. too.
Correct. But in the parking lot, that dirt, is that going to be covered by the 20 by 20? Or you're going to put a 20 by 20 tent next to that and hang flowers?
Actually behind it. Those will be flowers inside that tent. And then we were going to take the actual mulch and dirts and put them kind of around it as well as in front of it a little bit.
Okay, so you're probably because the map that I have, then you're looking at a 20 by 20
Right.
dirt pile and 20 by 20.
Correct.
Okay, so that's more than just 400 square feet of parking
That's
that's being
correct.
taken up.
Right.
Okay.
All right, I just want to make sure I'm clear on this drawing. The drawing that you have in front of you, directly in front of the store shows the 20 by 20 tent. Closer to Southfield Road shows the 20 by 20 area for the dirt on the pallets. That is what the drawing in front of you depicts.
So the dirt on the pallets is covered as well as?
No, that will be open.
That will be open?
That will be open. It's just, we're using that tent for 2.5 months for flowers.
So how far away, this tent looks like it's almost right on top of the entrance. So how far, you're 29 feet to a handicap parking spot?
Yeah, there's a handicap spot right behind it, and then starts that tent.
So somebody can park in the handicap, and then somebody can still be in the tent?
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to be careful and not to hit the handicap person's gonna,
100%. Yeah.
you're gonna be out there all day watching that?
We have a person that will be out there every day.
And the dirt's gonna be in bags, not loose?
That's all in bags. Yes.
I think it's just too close and dangerous, so, thank you.
I have a question. Is this going to clear up the sidewalk in front of the store, or are you still going to have product there?
It will, but I also have product there, so. you
Okay.
know, The problem is we can't put it behind the building.
Right.
Because there's a fence.
Right.
So we're kind of locked in what to do with the dirt.
Yeah, because it's always been behind the building.
Right. No, it hasn't, not with us it hasn't.
Oh, no, it
It's been
previously.
another actual aisle in where another parking facility area was, just off to the right side of the building. But it's been there for years,
How many parking spots we're going to lose?
maybe 10.
On top,
12, yeah.
all total?
Yes.
From what, right now, looks like you're going to double what you have now, or?
Actually, last year we had as much dirt as we had this year.
Okay. I haven't been by there in a week, so.
Last year we ran all of the flowers on the sidewalk.
Okay.
As well as in front of the planter boxes that we did. We charge you by it. That's the whole key.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I may. Also attached, I did put the standards for review and compliance for an outdoor storage permits. So if this body does wish to grant the application, I just want to make sure that we have a couple things attached as part of the permit. Actually, there's 5 conditions. We have the first 2, the name of the business and the address. Make sure that we specify the exact items that may be allowed to be stored. Any other conditions that this body sees to set forth, and a termination date of the permit. I just want to make sure that, if granted, that those conditions are met and clarified on the permit.
Just through the chair, what term are you looking for here? 3 months?
We're looking at as many as possible till the end of June. Now, the dirt will be still around.
Could I ask you to please speak into the mic? And could you repeat that?
Sure, it'll be till the end of June, and as soon as possible, we can start. There's such a small window right now with when you're growing flowers. Right now, we're already into the pansies and that kind of stuff. And really, right now, we can't even put them outside yet because we did today, but we got to bring them back in because it's just really too cold. So it's such a small window, we have to take advantage of it, and we have to push hard. And we probably get 2 to 3 orders that we'll get from our company that delivers the flowers. So we did over $75,000 in flowers last year, just from Allen Park.
Is that city lot, or is it their lot?
No.
No, that is not a city lot.
May I ask one more question? May I ask one? I'm sorry. So just to clarify again, this drawing that we have here, where is your proposed entrance into this tent?
It's all four, the sides are completely open.
Okay,
So all 4 sides you can get in and
okay,
around.
so where it's marked handicap, you're going to allow for handicap parking there?
We can actually push it, towards Southfield if you'd like us to do that. I mean, we just started it, we're looking at how we're going to water it, and that's another problem. So we've
Okay.
got the water facility there, but we have to use hoses and that kind of stuff.
Okay,
It's
thank
the
you.
same idea as if we would do it on the sidewalk too.
Okay, thanks.
So this tent would just be there till the end of June?
That's it. That's correct.
How's the tent going to be secured, so we don't have to worry about
It's
it being-
secured with pallets and block.
Okay.
So
It'll
it's
be weighted
nothing
down.
driven into the ground, no. It's a free
It's your
form.
parking lot, I'd like to see that tent, make sure that it's
Yo,
down,
it's going to be,
secure, that it
it's,
doesn't
we
blow
just
down.
finished one in Brooklyn, and it came out beautifully, so, but it's really secured well with block and pallet.
How does this year's plan differ from what you did last year?
The only difference is that the dirt, again, was on the right-hand side going up one side of the parking lot. We had all of our flowers on the back, right in front of the wall, as the windows across the front of the building. But the bad part about that is that you have no walking space now, really, and I thought that being so narrow in there, that I thought we'd have a better opportunity being able to put this tent there. We will pull all the dirt as we can off that walkway and be able to run it into that other area. So it completely comes into one big area. So.
One last question I have, just thinking has the fire department approved where it's going to be, just for access to those buildings? And
The fire department has not. The building code, as long as they're 20 feet.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there's
they can-
space.
That's
okay.
correct.
Typically, the fire department would want to make sure that they have access around the building first and foremost, and they looks like they still will maintain that with their roadway.
Any further questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask for a motion then?
We have a motion by Templin and supported by Gabaraki. And I will ask before the motion, Are we going to go with the, if granted, it will expire June 30th? Is that satisfying to the board? Or, it's up to you. That's, I need to put that in the minutes or whatever you guys want to.
Along with the rest of the items that still need to be answered. As clarification, what's on here, he's only got a couple. Wasn't there a few things missing?
Well, we just need to make sure we have a date. If I'm hearing right, there's 2 items to be stored only, the plants and the dirt.
Okay.
I believe we have the other information if the
Okay.
council does not wish to impose any other sanctions on that.
Thank you.
So, the 2 main stipulations I have is until June 30th, and it be only plants and dirt. Does that satisfy the board? Okay. So we have a motion by Templin, supported by Gavareki, that to grant the outdoor storage permit number 2016-1 to Great Lakes Ace on Southfield Road, where they can only store plants and dirt, and have the tent until June 30th, 2016. Now you could call the vote, Mayor.
I call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no.
No.
The 1 no vote. Motion is carried. Thank you. Now we go to the resolution regarding the hard cap cost sharing, and I will turn that over to Mr. Kibbe.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. The city recently received the the amendment to the City of Allen Park Emergency Manager Order Number 29 of 2013. Order 29 mandated that the city comply with the 80/20 cost-sharing model as provided for pursuant to the Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act, Public Act 152 of 2011. The administration worked with the Michigan Department of Treasury to craft an amendment to allow the mayor and city council the option of a hard cap or 80/20 cost-sharing model. The hard cap cost-sharing model caps the dollar amount each government agency or employer may pay towards an employee's health care cost. Since the city moved to a fully insured health care plan, from a fully insured health care plan to a self-insured plan, in October, the city is anticipating savings of approximately $250,000 to $500,000 for the year. The administration fully agrees that employees should have some sort of health care cost sharing, but wanted the mayor and council to be given the opportunity to choose between the 80/20 option or the hard cap option. By selecting the hard cap option, the city would be able to use it as a recruiting tool to help compete in a market that has fewer and fewer qualified employment candidates, and also as a retention tool for those current employees. Instead of a candidate that or an employee that is a single being required to pay the nearly $1,200 per year for their health care premium, their share would be zero because they would fall under the hard cap number that the state is given for 2016. A candidate or employee that has a family would go from $3,550 per year to a little less than $1,000, which would save the employee or that candidate $2,500 per year. And a two-person would save nearly $1,500. Those savings amounts could be a difference maker for potential employees sticking with the city or coming to the city. And again, at this time, I'm requesting the mayor and council adopt a hard cap cost sharing model of the Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act, Public Act 152 of 2011.
Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion for a purpose of discussion only, Madam Mayor.
Support.
To Julio and Gavareki. We have discussion, please?
Well, I just can't see that a single person pays nothing with this new plan. Before, he would pay 20%, now he will pay nothing. We had one employee last year. We've had 4 over $100,000, and one made that $112,000. So I don't know whether he's single or not, but that means he's going to pay nothing. There's no, equity in that. I mean, it doesn't seem fair that a person single who has more disposable dollars than a family is going to pay zero. I can't support something like that. I mean, we haven't given the rollback provision to our residents that we promised when the millage was passed. We haven't done anything that we've promised to do, and now we want to give extra. Well, I can't support something like that. Thank you.
When the police officers were doing the interviews with the candidates, the last candidate that turned us down mentioned that healthcare was one of the reasons. He was able to go to a neighboring community and pay a less cost for their insurance for his family. That was a difference maker for him.
You know, we can say anything we want to say. We can say that's the reason that they're not coming to Allen Park, but I think there's a lot of deep lying reasons that they're not coming in Allen Park, and I don't think it's all just over health care. I just cannot see that. We have too many senior citizens that live alone. Why aren't we making their property taxes 1/2 of what they're paying now? We're not giving them a break. We're not giving back any, the rollback provision, but we're going to give the employees. So 100 or so people are going to keep 28,000 residents hostage to this. I do not agree with this.
Mark, when would this take effect?
This could go into effect. It's actually, the numbers have already been included in the proposed budget for the 80/20, or for the hard cap to be included. So that is already included in the budget, although that can be reversed if council decides to keep it at the 80.
But
so,
looking at basically what Angela is talking about as well, from a benefit standpoint, when's our open enrollment for somebody to make a decision? Is that October 1st?
October 1st is open.
So, in one sense, these numbers, if we were to approve them, wouldn't go in effect until October 1st.
They could go into effect now because those are the numbers we're actually working with for the illustrative rate.
Okay, because, I mean, the concern I have is we just got the information, thanks to the RTAP, to allow us to make a decision on it. But I don't know what are the alternate numbers, where did these come from, like Angela said, you went from, the $5,900 to zero.
Yeah, let me go through that.
What are some of those rates that are being self-insured that we can, and maybe this is a work session, maybe it's tabled right now until, if we have till October 1st when individuals can make a change, I'd rather be fair, with a fair amount and making a decision for all involved, for the city, obviously, from a money standpoint, from, if it's police and fire, whoever this affects, from their negotiating standpoint. And that's the other thing, too, is this a negotiated item? Do we have to go back to the table with that, is a question I have. To me, right now, I'm not comfortable with saying yay or nay, just because it's a great benefit for our employees, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make things affordable. If it's recruiting that's an issue, we need to take a look. So there's a number of items, I think they're in discussion with it. But bottom line, what are some of those other rates that may be, like you said, a single person, maybe it's still $50 to pay.
Yeah, let me go back.
Versus,
so the numbers you're looking at in the spreadsheet there, the 59, talking about a single person, the 591144 is the actual cost that we charge the resident or the employee now. They're paying 20% of that. That is the illustrative rate that we're given by the insurance carriers as for health care and for RX, the prescription drug card. So that is a number. The number next to that, under the PA 2016 PA 152 hard cap, is the actual number that the state of Michigan has determined to be the most that any municipality or government agency should be paying for health care for a single. That is set by law. And then that changes on an annual basis. As of January 1, it changes every January 1. So that is, again, set by law, and it'll go up whatever the index is for health care. It's similar to the index that you would use for the property tax increase that normally you see it'd be like 1.3% or something like that. Typically, though, this is greater than the percentage or that we would see on that, it would increase higher. But that number actually stays pretty set to about 2 to 3%. We would actually see higher increases on our health care increases from the carriers than we would see on that number. So as it's now, it's a 0 for the employee on a single. There's a chance that come the next renewal time, that could be, they would be paying, $10 a pay, $15 a pay, $20, $50, depends on what that cost comes in for the city of Allen Park. The purpose of 152 was to get the communities to make changes to the plans, to get them to be reduced in coverage and the cost, to get them underneath those hard caps. That was what the state's primary goal, 152, was, is to pay no more than these numbers here. And that's been quite a bit of a challenge for a lot of the communities, especially in southeast Michigan, where healthcare is quite a bit more expensive than other parts of the state.
I guess just my concern is, I'd rather spend more time on this than I did with ACO or Ace Hardware back there about dirt and plants. If we have that July 1st budget window, or we have that October 1st budget window, that to whether to table it, or I guess table would be the best part, that there's no discussion after that unless someone else has some questions before I ask to table it. But I think a work session, so I understand where those costs are actually coming from, why there's 0. I know you explained part of it with percentages and insurances and things like that, but right now, and what Mr. Turner was talking about earlier, what he went through with the school district and things like that, they're just, for my comfort, I'd ask to table it until we can have a work session on it and kind of look at the numbers. I mean, we're not under a time constraint right now. It's not going to affect the employees and their cost benefit right now, correct? So,
Well, the budget, though.
well, the budget, we can do amendments if we
Well, you
have
can
to.
do amendments even if you give it to them
If
now
they're
and then
not-
you change it later. I mean, you can always do a budget amendment. You could give this to the employees right now. The cost would come in October, whether our cost would go up or not, and then you could figure out then, at that point there, you might have to make a budget adjustment, and then they would have to be maybe charged $10 or $15 for that single person. It all depends on that annual cost that we're being charged. So you can always make a budget adjustment. I hear everybody saying that, you don't like the fact that the single person's paying nothing, but I think we owe it to our employees to give them something. They've been paying.
Oh, I understand that.
I understand that what everybody's saying, but I mean,
You're in
it's
the
just,
insurance business, I'm not. And
I'm just-
I don't understand
But
where
I'm
the
just
numbers
saying,
came from.
to allow them and to better market the city of Allen Park, I think it'd be in our best interest.
And I agree with that.
Okay, I mean, I'm just going to make a final statement. If you make a motion to table after I get done talking, I will support you on that. But right now, we have 2 people here in the city. Mr. Kibbe said there's people looking elsewhere for employment. They're looking elsewhere for employment. Well, we took 2 people that made over $90,000 last year. We got one of them from the security department over at the Fairlane. We got the other one from the security department at Montgomery Wards, and they came down in Park and they made over $90,000.
Angela, if I could just, I think that this may be something, because there seems to be a lot of question about it, and these employees may not be impacted. You can select certain individuals and say, well, this person, you don't know if they're single. The focus on this has been more toward, I understand. I don't know if that, I'm not looking at it, I'm not asking if that person's single, if they'd be impacted.
I don't
The point of the resolution was, because we are having difficulty hiring new police, this issue has come up over and over again. However, it may be that we are having a work session on the budget upcoming. Is this something that we could incorporate into that discussion in conjunction with the budget?
Make the motion, I'll support it.
We could,
We
yes.
could. Okay. Do I have,
Any other discussion?
No, I just want to say, we've gone to self-insured, we've changed the insurance coverage, the city has made a large savings from previous years on our health care, and now all that we're looking forward, or looking to, is to pass on a little bit to the employees of the saving that we've made, right? That's what the whole intention of this is. Yeah, I don't know why we'd want to table it, but I could vote for it tonight and not have a problem with it. I'm comfortable with it.
Now, any other discussion? I mean, if we table, we have a vote anyway, right?
Right.
So I make a motion to table it till, when's our last meeting, our next meeting?
19.
I mean, it can be a discussion at the work session, but then a
Right.
decision.
Next meeting is April 26th,
Then April 25th.
and we have a work session on the 19th on budget. Mr. Rourke has made a motion to table. I hear a second.
I will support Mr. Rourke on that.
Of course.
Is there any further discussion? We'll take a vote on tabling. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
We'll take a roll call, please.
Councilman DeGiulio.
No.
Councilwoman
I mean,
Geber.
wait, hold on.
Yes to
What-
table.
tell
Or
me-
yes to table, I'm
Yes
sorry,
to
yes to
table.
table it, no to take it to a vote. Councilman DeGiulio.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gavaraki.
No.
Councilwoman McLeod, or Mayor Pro Tem McLeod.
Yes.
To table?
The table.
Okay. Councilman Rourke,
Yes.
Councilman Cisco,
No.
and Councilman Templin.
No.
It's a tie vote, the motion fails. So it goes back to a vote.
The question has arisen about putting it officially on the budget discussion and making sure it is on the April 26th agenda.
Oh, my God. It just failed to table it, so now
Yeah,
you
you
want to
can't,
move
you
it.
have to,
You have to
yeah.
vote on it, and it'll still probably go 3-3, but you have to vote on it. You can't just move it to a work session because it just failed to table.
Right,
Yeah.
we have a resolution that we're supposed to be voting on right now.
Yep.
Thank you.
It goes to the original motion by DeGiulio, supported by Gavaraki.
All right, then, all in favor of adopting the resolution, vote aye.
Tell us the resolution before we, all in favor of adopting the resolution.
It'd be I believe it'd be a motion to go to the hard cap under,
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
It's a motion to go
resolution.
to the hard cap.
Adopt the hard cap cost sharing model of the Public Fee Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act, PA.
152 of 2011.
Okay. Did you call me?
No, do you want a roll call, or do we want to take a simple vote? How do we want to do this?
We'll take a roll call again, please.
Okay, this is to vote for the hard cap option of the cost-sharing model of the Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act, PA 152 of 2011. And we'll start with Councilman Gavaraki.
Yes.
Pro Tem McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Rourke,
No.
Councilman Cisco,
Yes.
Councilman Templin,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Gavaraki, or Councilman DeGiulio.
No?
1, 2, 3, 4 yeses, it passed. Next item.
Next item is the Wayne County IGA for paving Goddard Road. Mr. Kibbe?
Yes, this is the item, IGA is for the intergovernmental agreement. The city's received the intergovernmental agreement from Wayne County for improvements to Goddard Road, and it'll be from I-75 freeway to Toledo Road. The city's estimated share of that project is $65,151. The county's requested the city to provide a working capital advance in the amount of $32,575, which is 50% of the estimated cost. At this time, I'm requesting authorization for the mayor to sign the intergovernmental agreement between the city of Allen Park and Wayne County for the improvement of Goddard Road from I-75 freeway to Toledo Road.
Motion.
Support.
Rourke and Templin, thank you. Is there any discussion regarding this resolution?
Question, where's the money coming from? I don't see
So,
it.
I guess the only discussion I would have is that there's been issues with Reek Road and some trucks traveling down there, so maybe if the police chief could just kind of monitor that, because I think they might cut down that way and
To avoid the traffic,
to avoid the construction. Yes, thank you.
Mr. Templin, you had a question?
Yeah, it looks like we have to come up with $32,575. Where's it coming from?
Actually, we need $65,151 at the
That's only
cold water on that idea.
Okay.
Actually, I believe
I
it'll be
keep
coming
seeing
from the
different-
major, that's a major road expense eligibility. So that'll be the 202 000
Mark, can you just explain it's being split with?
Yeah, yep, I apologize, yeah. So our percentage of that roadway is, what do we have there? 40, what sheet was that on? I flagged the one you had for the roadway.
I didn't get the account. Oh, we have to advance that.
Okay, our percentage of this would be 27%, 27.43%. City of Lincoln Park will be 17.952%, and the city of Southgate is 4.613%, and then the county's portion is 50%. This is the local share after the federal aid money comes in. So the federal highway money will be kicking in 80% of that money, and then we're responsible for 50%. The county's responsible for the other 20%, of which we split that with them for that. So our portion of that, the 10%, is the 27% of the 10. So I get a little confused on the mathematics there, but that is the basic concept there. And that is going to go from the freeway to Old Goddard, and then it'll continue on down Moran. They listed it as all of Goddard, but that, as we know, that does change to Moran. Does it change to Moran at that point? At Lincoln Park. So our portion will stop at Ford Line, and then it'll continue on all the way to Dix Toledo.
Any further questions or discussion? We take a vote on adopting Resolution 3 for paving Goddard Road. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion is carried.
And with the council's quick action, I believe Wayne County is actually going to be out at the end of this week to start that project.
And we have the last resolution, which is award the bid for the 2016 City Street Sectioning Program to the lowest qualified bidder, Dominic Gaglio Construction, in the amount of $369,975, with funds to come out of the accounts 202 and 203. Mr. Kibbe.
Yeah, we opened bids for this project on March 29th of this year. There was a total of 7 bidders for the project. Charles E. Raines, C. Raines Company, prepared the bid tabulation showing all the bidders, and a copy was attached for the council's review. As you can see there, the bids range from $369,000, our low bid, up to the high bid of $674,000. Sometimes I wonder, as you all do, what they're hoping for, but obviously they were not the low bid, anywhere near close to being the low bid. So our recommendation is for Dominic Gaglio Construction in the amount of $369,975. We've used Gaglio in the past for a number of different projects. They've been very good work to work with. and we anticipate that it will continue on this project. The funds are going to be coming from the 202-479-801-205 account for local roads, and then for major roads, it'll be the 203-479-801-205. I didn't put down an actual distribution of how the amounts are going to be, because that'll be, they'll come back with the engineers with their cost, or with their pay numbers, and then we'll be able to distribute it back at that point in time. Those are the account numbers that we'll be looking to go for.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Support.
Mr. Templin? I'm sorry, Mr. Cisco? And Gavareki. Is there any discussion, questions? May I have a vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. That motion is carried. And now we have other business. The first and second reading of proposed ordinance number 09/2016, an ordinance to amend Chapter 38 Solid Waste, Article 2, Collection and Disposal, Division 1, generally, Section 38-22, Standards for Containers.
So we need a motion to authorize the first and second reading by title only.
Motion.
Gavareki?
Support.
Support by Rourke.
Let me read it first.
Read it good.
All right, proposed ordinance number 09-2016, an ordinance of City of Allen Park, Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 38, Solid Waste, Article 2, Collection and Disposal, Division 1, generally, by the repeal and readoption of Section 38-22, Standards for Containers. I will now do the second reading by title only of proposed ordinance 09-2016, an ordinance of the City of Allen Park Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 38, Solid Waste, Article 2, Collection and Disposal, Division 1, generally by the repeal and readoption of Section 38-22, Standards for Containers. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the council regarding the ordinance?
Question, can we do a question? Can we do a question even though you did that before we go to the next third reading, a couple weeks from now?
Just the proposed, this is all, so they may not even, through the chair, they may not even have an answer for you because the ordinance.
How about a suggestion or
You can do
addition?
that, right here.
Okay. The city approved 96-gallon trash cart for household waste only. If their option comes up for somebody to use the 63-gallon, is that the other one, 63-gallon?
64.
64-gallon, will that be put in there? Can we put that in there?
We can.
Thank you.
In fact, that's the purpose of doing this.
And I may forget. So I want to make sure that we put that in. Now, is there another one in here with, because I briefly read it over, as far as the recycle container is the 64-gallon. That's the only size they're
That's the
going to
only
have?
size for that, yep.
And what happens if someone does put out that small green box?
It won't get picked up.
Won't get picked up,
Because
okay.
the purpose of those containers are to be automated. So the truck will actually go down, an arm will come out, lift it up, empty it, move on to the next one.
Okay. And are the fines for non-compliance kind of in line with what some of our other fines are? That's the one, the non-compliance talks about $10 violations and, sorry, Joe.
These are municipal civil infractions, and the fine would be $50.
Okay. And that's in line with what we're doing now with civil infraction fines?
Some civil infractions are much higher.
Okay. Well, I don't want them higher. I mean, right. I'm trying to work with.
Mr. McGustin's
Right.
a little bit higher.
Yeah.
than everybody else.
Did I get everything, Ray? Okay. Thank you.
Just so I'm clear, what was the one city approved 96 gallon, or are we gonna?
Yeah, the councilman's asking to just include some wording in there if the residents do exercise the option for the 64-gallon cart. It doesn't list that in as an option, so we'll need to work that wording in there.
Question, Mr. Kibbe, if that's possible. So if somebody, if that wording did take place and somebody opted for the 64-gallon, and then at some point decided they needed the 96-gallon, would that be free of charge, or would they be charged for it?
I'm looking back, I believe that there was a delivery charge the first time around, that they go back. We haven't gotten all the wording back from Advanced on that. We're still working with them on that.
Well, what I'm saying is, if during time you take the 64-gallon and then 4, 5, 6 months down the road, you decide you want a bigger container, do you have to pay for that container, that 96-gallon container?
The language hasn't been completed yet, but the understanding, based on our discussions with the contractor, was that they would ask the resident to try the 96-gallon containers for at least 90 days. At that point, if they felt it was still too big, they could call and they'd get a one-time replacement of the 96 for a 64-gallon. If they, at some point later on, decided that they wanted to go back to the 96, they would have to pay the upgrade for the cost of a 64 or a 96-gallon cart. So they'd get a one-time replacement to a 64 at no charge.
Thank you.
Wait.
Wait.
So if you have the 96, thank you, I'm sorry. So if you have the 96 gallon, but you decide you want the 64 or whatever, you sell your property, now you have a 64 gallon container and you need a 96 gallon container. Is there a cost for the new homeowner to get the?
We haven't really gotten that far,
All right,
but I would assume that
Good point. It's something
it's something we'll talk to the
Thank you.
contractor
That's fine.
about, though.
Good, thank you. You can sit down now.
And through the chair, we are on proposed ordinance 9-2016.
I was asked to clarify, the containers, when they're delivered, will belong to the residents. So in other words, if you move out of your house, the container stays with the house. They're part of the property. Just to clarify.
Mr. Kaplan?
Wasn't there talk that for recycling containers, wasn't there going to be an option to have the smaller one?
The 64 is the smaller container.
I thought they were talking that they were going to allow the 18-gallon one also.
They don't have a
Is that-
mechanism to pick those up, though. It's when you go to automation, they have to be picked up through the container with the arm on it.
Okay.
There may have been discussion, it might have been the other contractor.
Might have been the other contractor, okay.
And if I could make a comment, I think one of the reasons they wanted the 64 recycling was because they are covered containers, and I know that probably many of you have experienced on a really windy day with these open containers. I have found debris in my gutters that I've gone out and picked up, and you get the plastic bottles flying around and whatnot. Regardless of whether they pick up every 2 weeks or every week, you're not required to put, I mean, there are times even with every other week where I don't accumulate enough to put it out every other week. So it goes out, once a month. But the main feature is that these are covered and will prevent a lot of debris from flying around our neighborhoods, and it should keep the environment looking a lot nicer. Are any other questions or comments on these ordinances? I'm not quite sure what we take a vote on,
Just a simple vote, yep.
but we're voting on
Just the first and second reading.
okay. So
Yeah, just call a simple.
taking a vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. That's carried. We'll make those changes. Okay, that somewhat brings us to the end of our normal procedures, and in keeping with that, generally, we'll go around the council and ask, before we go into a closed session, because we will be adjourning into the closed session, we'd like to give the council the opportunity, and the treasurer and clerk to make any comments. So if anybody would like to make some closing comments this evening?
I'll start. I'll start. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I think there was a lot of good discussion up here, both ways. So anyway, my public announcement is to remind everybody that Father Sailor Knights of Columbus on Champaign Road this Saturday from 3 to 8 is serving all-you-can-eat massacholi dinner to help their MI program. So the cost is $10 for adults and $5 for children under 12. Again, it's all you can eat, so please stop up and pay a visit. Thanks for coming.
What's MI?
Huh?
Did you say MI?
Yeah, mentally impaired or the disabled, special needs.
Yeah, it's great food. And I just want to thank Shannon and the APHS group that came out. That was pretty cool with the dog masks for that. You never think of the animals in there during a fire. And as Tina had said, some good discussion tonight, so thank you for the council for discussion and the citizens bringing out, and Tina, I want to apologize for speaking out of turn as far as that, but, pardon?
No need to apologize.
Okay, but I respect everybody's opinion up here, and it's important to work together with it. It's good for, obviously, working with our employees and getting what is needed for them, and having all the information is important as well. So thank you, and thank you, group up here, and Gail, nice job tonight.
Anyone else? Well, I would like to thank you all for coming and for being understanding and tolerant of my initiation as a leader. I know I got confused on some of the motion and approval and voting, but I do appreciate all of the citizens and the feedback that we get and the fact that we are able to discuss things at this table and hopefully come to a common understanding. Thank you all very much. Enjoy this spring-like weather. We have had enough of winter, and have a very good evening. I have a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Motion to go to closed session.
We're going to,
I'm sorry, motion to adjourn.
I have, through the chair, I have a resolution here I'm going to read, and we'll do the motion support after, and then we'll do the roll call to require the two-thirds majority to go into closed session. We need a motion and a support to adjourn to meet in the closed session under Section 8H of the Open Meetings Act to consult with our attorney regarding a written legal opinion as permitted under Section 8H of the Open Meetings Act. And with that, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Support.
I have a motion by Templin, supported by Cisco, that we go into executive session, closed session under Section 8 of the Open Meeting Act to consult with our attorney regarding a written legal opinion as permitted under Section 8H. Shall we meet in closed session? And we'll start this one with Mayor McLeod, Mayor Pro Tem McLeod.
Yes.
Councilman Rourke.
Yes.
Councilman Cisco.
Yes.
Councilman Templin.
Yes.
Councilman DiGiulio.
No.
And Councilwoman Gabaraki.
Yes.
And the meeting to adjourn will be at 7:53. We will convene into closed session. What's up, Walt? What's up, Charlie?